always very important. Be very consistent. All right, good morning, everyone. What we're going to do today is I'm going to go over this concept that I'm calling, it's basically shortcuts to these chords. And we're going to start with thinking less about theory, but up front we're just doing quick shortcuts so you can play jazz piano with some really nice chords. All right, so here we go. The first chord shortcut that we're going to do is I want you to think about, there's a little bit of theory you need to know, and that is thinking in triads. So for instance, the sheet music is up there, and I did make a link in the description that will get you the PDF, and it actually is in all keys. But here's the concept: is I've been thinking about as I'm teaching. You know, I like to talk a lot about theory. It's very important that people know about theory, but it's just as important, and probably even more important, that people learn how to play some really nice sounds, and then they realize they can do it, and then they say, man, I really like doing this jazz piano, and yes, I can do it. If I get too much into the theory at first, then it can either really get them excited or get them overwhelmed. So I started thinking about that, and then I created this idea of chord shortcuts. But it's actually, we learn the sounds, we get the sounds at first, and really get and understand them. But then I like to teach the theory. I think it's really important. So we're not just playing chord shortcuts. We're getting to sound good, but then we learn what we're doing. So today is more about just learning how to play this specific shape, and we're going to do it in all keys. So if you would, go get that chart. Just download it. It's in all keys, and here we go. And please say hello in the chat if you... Let me make sure the stream is working. Okay, looks like it is. So obviously I'm on a little delay for the stream, but say hello in the chat and let me know if where you're from, what you've been doing, what your first name is, and a lot of you I've connected with on Instagram and other places. So thank you so much for supporting this brand new channel. So here we go. Okay, so the very first one when you get your chart there is C. So when I think of solo piano and I think of C, regardless of what tune I'm playing, like let's say if I'm playing Oh Christmas Tree, and I'll do it in C. Okay, this very first thing on C is super important to know how to arpeggiate a C triad, and all I'm doing is root, fifth, and third, and without going into too much theory, I'm just doing a C triad, C, G, and C. So just the notes of a C chord, C, E, G, but I'm putting it C, G, and E. And my fingering here is 5, 2, 1, and this will be the same fingering on all keys. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is in our right hand, I'm going to think 5 notes up from my C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to play a G major triad. So once again, all we're thinking in terms of triads. So here are my 3 notes, C, G, C. And then my right hand, I'm thinking G triad, because I counted up 5 notes, G triad, and I'm putting a G on top. That's step 1 of the chord shortcut. Now even that sounds great by itself. If I was playing, let's say if I was singing or I was accompanying a singer, this would be a great, nice little chord voicing to use if I had a C major. Okay, now here's where the next shortcut comes in, is you have these 2 triads stacked on top of each other. You have C, G, E, and then your G major triad. Fingering is going to be 1, 2, 3, 5 on all of these. And then all I'm going to do is raise my thumb up by a whole step. That's a really nice sound. So we're either going to do this today on example 1, or we're going to do this voicing. Which again sounds nice and full, and you can put the pedal down if you're doing solo piano if you want, and just roll that up. Get used to that. All right, so that's example 1. And now we're going to take that up a half step and do it in D flat, and the music is up there. You can probably even see the key of D flat there. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Knowing this shortcut, I have to know the triad of D flat. So D flat triad, and I'm doing D flat, A flat, and F. And in my right hand, I'm counting up 5 notes in the major scale, and I'm playing an A flat triad. A flat, C, E flat, and A flat. D flat is such a beautiful key on the piano. Let me go back to C. Listen to D flat. Okay, so remember that this is the first shortcut. We put these 2 triads together, and the next thing I'm going to do is take my thumb and move it up a whole step. Now you have this. Notice how I'm arpeggiating that whole thing. Sometimes I like to think like a guitar player thinks, is that I might hit the top note and then roll up the other notes. So let me go back the key of C. Remember, you think C, G, and E from the triad, count up 5 notes, and now you're a G triad, and here we go. Hey guys, I see we have a couple people that are in. Make sure if you would say hello, let me know that you can hear everything okay. And I'd love for you guys to get this chart in all keys. And I absolutely love to have people practice with me. So let me know that you're at least in the stream and following along. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat. Okay, so again, my shortcut, I'm going to do C, G, and E, count up 5 notes, and play a G major triad. I love the way that sounds. Again, you can hit the top note and then roll up all the other notes. You can play the top note and the bottom note together. You see what I did there? I did top note and bottom note, and I rolled up, and then I played the G major triad. But again, our shortcut is going to be, hey Vicky, how's it going? My thumb, I'm going to roll up, not roll up, but go up a whole step, and now you have your A there. So that's your shortcut on this example. Well, it's actually 2 shortcuts to get here, but it's not hard at all. If you think triad, C triad against a G triad, G, B, D, and G, take that thumb up. Both of these are really nice chords. Putting the A there or the G is fine as well. And you can even take, let's say you play the C, and I can play the G and just go up the keyboard. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay? All right, so the next step is we're going to go back to the next shortcut. We're going to go up to D flat first, and I'm going to the 5th of D flat, so I count up. It's basically like thinking like this. You have a D flat triad, and what's the top note? A flat. Well, do an A flat triad there. So I have D flat, A flat, F, and then my triad on top. And then I'm going to take my thumb and go up a whole step, and there we go. That sounds so nice, that D key of D flat. I love D flat. Okay, now we've done that. We've worked on C and D flat, we've gone back, and now I want to add another key. So let's add a D triad, D, F sharp, and A, and then on the top you'll have an A triad. So let me go ahead and do that. A, C sharp, and E, and remember I'm going to put the note A on top, so we have an A triad with an A on top. And in my left hand I'm going to do a D triad, but I'm going to space it out like this. D, A, and F sharp. Remember that my shortcut is to go up with my thumb a whole step, and now you have that nice voicing there. It's like a D major 9 voicing. It's like or a major 13 voicing. That's why we're not getting to the theory of things here, but you learn the shape, and then if it sounds really nice, you can usually explain it as a really nice jazz chord. But again, that's for later. All right, so let's do that review. Notice the way I'm practicing. I'm making sure I get comfortable in each key. Here's the first way, C against a G. Go up a half step, A flat. And remember, all of these voicings are written out. Just follow the link in the description. D flat against an A flat. Now D against an A. And one more time, I'm going to do the second part of the shortcut. I'll go back to C, and there's my first way, but I'm going to go up a whole step. And again, you can take this idea of arpeggiating up, rolling up. So you do 1, 2, 3, 5, and go up and do the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 5. And that sounds really nice. You put that against the C, C, E, G, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5. That sounds great. All right, now here we go. There's my shortcut in the key of C. I'm going to go up a half step. I'm in D flat. Getting used to that D flat with an A flat triad on top. And then I'm going to put my thumb up there. Now I have B flat. Go up to D and do the same thing. I love the key of D as well. And I really love the key of E flat. Let's go ahead and learn that. So E flat, let me go ahead and get the triad, E flat, G, and B flat. And then what I'm going to do now is go to the top note again and build a triad. So B flat triad with a B flat on top. So now we have E flat, B, and G. like to roll the sound up and down just to get familiar with it. Let me listen to it. And then I'll bring a thumb up to C, the whole step. Get used to arpeggiating that. I'm just using 1, 2, 3, 5. Go back to D. And then go down to D flat. Here's the first way, here's the second way. Start on C. D flat. Now we'll do E flat. Alright, now we just did the second version. Now I'm going to go up to E. Remember, what's the rule? We go E, G sharp, and B. Go the top note, and now I'm going to play an E triad with a B triad on top. And I'll go ahead and get my B triad set up, B, D sharp, F sharp, and B on the top. And now I have my E triad, which I'm spacing out by doing E, B, and then G sharp. You have this sound. Practicing the triad there. And now I'm going to bring my thumb up the whole step. Remember that the goal, one of the goals in doing this is that we're creating ideas that we'll be able to use when we play solo piano. That's the deal. And I told you guys on Instagram and on YouTube that we're going to start doing a lot of Christmas tunes where we reharmonize them. And I've already done some of that in a live setting, but starting next week, we're really I've picked out 6 tunes that we're going to work on. And this is just one simple technique you can use as we create these shortcuts. I want you to be able to play them in all keys. So here we go. And notice that as I play this chord, it's my B chord in the right hand, but as I play, when I add my thumb up there, notice that I get into the keys a little bit. This was something I learned in my classical studies about how you don't play on the edge of the keys like this. You have to, when you have black keys and you're playing, chords, intricate chords, and you need to be able to get up into the keys. It's really important. All right, let's go to the next key. So F, love the key of F. I guess I love all the keys. So here's my triad, F, A, C, put a C, E, G on the top. And all I'm going to do now is arpeggiate that C, get used to that C triad. I just do C, E, G, C. And in the left hand I have F, C, and A. And now I'm going to move my thumb up a whole step. Let's just do a review. So the first one, D flat, E flat. It's interesting how the different sounds, each key sounds a little different. Not just higher, but they're different qualities. And I think you guys hear that. F. Let's do F sharp. Now, same thing, F sharp, A sharp, C sharp. And now I have D flat on the top. So remember, take the top note and make that triad. So D flat on top against an F sharp on the bottom. Just 2 triads. All right, now I'll take my thumb and go up a whole step. Again, we have a G triad. Against the top note, we have a D triad. So I'll go ahead and get my D triad ready to go. And then I have my G triad spaced out, G, D, and then B. against a G, D flat against an A flat, D against an A, E flat against a B flat, E against a B, F against a C, F sharp against a D flat, or a C sharp, G against a D, next key, we're going to go up to A flat. So A flat, C, and E flat. And then now what we're going to do is go to the top note, E flat, G, B flat, and do that triad. Now my shortcut is going to go up here a whole step. Alright, let's go ahead and do A. So A, C sharp, and E. So I will go from an A chord up to the top note and do an E triad. So A, E, and C sharp against an E triad with an E on top. Now I'm going to take my thumb and go up a whole step. Once again, look at how my thumb and my index finger are all the way up into the keys. As you start playing on the different keys, A, B, F sharp, you start to notice getting into the keys and how much it benefits you. All right, feel pretty good about that. The next key we're going to do is B flat. So I'm going to play a B flat triad and think about the F triad on top with an F on the very top. So B flat, F, and D against an F triad. My trick here will be to go up a whole step to G, or just back to F. Just by changing that one note from F to G, it really changes the quality of the chord, the sound of it. Alright, so let's go ahead and go up another key. We're almost done. We're going to go B, and we go B triad. We go up to the F sharp. So there's my B triad, F sharp, A sharp, C sharp, and F sharp on top, with my B triad in the left hand. Now let me go up a whole step. And then guess what? I'm going to end on C major and I'll go to that. Doing the regular triads right now. I'm going to show you a cool thing you can add in just a second, but let me go ahead and finish this. So here we go. Let's keep going down. E against a B. B flat. D against an A. D flat against an A flat. And then C. anybody have any questions on that before? We're going to review that one more time, and we'll just talk about how you would practice this stuff. I also want to know if anybody's downloading that. I did not send out any kind of emails or anything yet to any of the students, but just want to make sure the link is working. Okay. Seems to be working. So what that PDF is just a simple download with this example. And it is written out in all keys. If you guys would, definitely, it helps me if you leave a like. I think it'll help get this channel that nobody knows about except for the awesome 104 people that signed up over the last month. I'm kind of, this is my new channel that you guys know about, and that is, I have another channel. My main channel is doing really well, but I thought I would start over and just do totally focused on jazz piano, and that's kind of why I'm doing this. And so nobody knows this channel at this point, which is fine. I want the right people to be able to see this stuff, because I want people to not only be able to learn these tricks and tips and everything, but I want to build a little community of people who are really just interested in jazz piano. All right, let me go ahead and do this review again. Again, leave a like for me if you would, and download that PDF. I think it'll really help you. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do C major. So I have a C against a G on top, G, B, D, and then the G on top. So C triad with a G triad on top. Now let's go ahead and do D flat. Fingering is going to be the same on all these. Now D against an A. E flat with a B flat. E with a B. F against a C. Remember, the fingering is going to be the same, so if you want to arpeggiate that from bottom to the top, that's going to sound really nice. It could be it for an ending or an intro. Or I could start on that D and arpeggiate that up. All right, F against a D flat, F sharp against a C sharp, G against a D, A flat against an E flat, A against an E chord, B flat against an F, and then we already started over. It's amazing how much you can get done if you really focus on this stuff. And I say that for me as well. Get a lot of practice done. And I think the other thing is, we all get in our comfort zones of practicing. Like, let's say we stay in C all the time. Well, how much, even as jazz pianists, are we focusing in the key of B unless we're playing giant steps, right? So what I want to do is to not only show you these shortcuts, I want you to be able to play them in all keys. So that's why I just decided to do one example today, and there are 2 variations. So let me do this. I probably will take this video and actually hack it up so that people will be able to not have to spend a lot of time fast forwarding through all the parts at the beginning. So let me just do a short video of teaching this one more time. So this will be a review for you if you're just now, or if you've been with me from the beginning of this. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to take this voicing. Again, you can get the PDF that's in the description. So make sure you like the video and go ahead and download this chart. But the first thing we're going to do is take a C triad, and we need to make sure we can play our triads. So on the bottom we have a C triad, and then on the top we go to the top note and play a G triad. So in my right hand I'm doing G, B, D, and G, 1, 2, 3, 5. In my left hand I'm doing a C chord, but I'm spacing it out, C, G, and E. And the fingering is going to be the same on all these, 5, 2, 1, and 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, so that's my first shortcut, is to take the C chord, roll it up, and in my right hand I'm doing a G triad. And then what I'm going to do is take my thumb and go up a whole step. Now you have this really nice, beautiful chord. And I can actually take this right hand and go up and play the same thing. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 5, and go up. And you could go all the way up playing that whole thing. So you're arpeggiating the right hand all the way up the keyboard if you want. And if you get lost with these chords, go back to the G triad. Get familiar with C against a G. So a C on the bottom, this spaced out, and a G on top. And then go to this chord. All right, so next key, we're doing a D flat. So I have to know my D flat triad. And now in my right hand, I'm going to the top note and playing an A flat triad. D flat, A flat, and F. That's the first shortcut. Second shortcut, going up a whole step. Now you have B flat. And I like to run these up and down. Just listen to the sound as I'm arpeggiating. I actually have the pedal holding these down because I'm doing solo piano. Might use this as an intro or an outro. Okay, let me go back and review. Example 1. C, D flat. Now let's do D. So you have D, F sharp, and A for the triad. I'm doing D, A, F sharp. And at the top note, I'm doing an A triad. Now I'll go up a whole step. Let me review that. Half step. Again, guys, go get this PDF. Link is in the description. It'll help you out. You'll be able to really focus on picking how many you want to do maybe in a day, or just do one, just do C or 2 every day. And the thing is, I want you guys to have specific goals that you knock these out and get really comfortable with them. So E flat, I'm gonna have a B flat triad on top, B flat, D, F, and my B flat again at the very top. Go up a whole step, and now your C, F, B flat. Let's go ahead and go on up to E, E triad. Put a B triad on top, so E, B, and G sharp. Again, the fingering is the same. Get used to that sound, having a B triad on top. I like to arpeggiate, thinking like a guitar player would. Sometimes I'll take the top note and then play the bottom. Or maybe play the top and the bottom together. See what I did there? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now let me do my shortcut. I'm going to go up a whole step and play the C sharp. Okay, now let's go up again to F now. F chord, and the top note's C, so I do a C triad on top. One, 2, 3, 5. Or maybe I'll do the top note and the bottom note. Now my second shortcut, I'm going to go up a whole step, and now I have D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... All right, my next key is F sharp. So F sharp triad, my top note is C sharp or D flat, and I'll do a triad there. I have this sound. Take my thumb up a whole step. Remember that as I play some of these keys like F sharp and B and A, I'm getting up into the keys for the black keys. Notice that my hand is all the way at the top, or almost all the way up at the top. It really helps me to move into the keys on some of the keys that we play. It has a really nice, bright sound. I love it. Okay, so key of G. We do G, B, D. Go to the top note, play a D triad. And my left hand is spacing that out, G, D, and B. fingering's the same. 1, 2, 3, 5 in the right hand. All right, my next shortcut is to go up a whole step. And remember this idea that if you get lost and you mess up the right hand, all you have to do is go back to the triad. G triad with the top note, you make a triad, so G triad with a D triad on the top. And then you can take that thumb and get back to a whole step up. And both chords sound good. All right, let's go ahead and go A flat. So normally an A flat triad would be A flat, C, and E flat. And then my top note's going to be my triad that goes on top, E flat, G, and B flat. So my left hand I'm going to do A flat, E flat, and C against an E flat triad. And then my thumb will go up a whole step. Let's go up to A. So A triad, the top note of an A triad is E, and we're going to do a triad there. So 1, 2, 3, 5. So A triad and then E triad. Get used to that sound. And then I'm going to take my thumb and move it up a whole step. Again, I like to think like a guitar player. I keep repeating this, but it's really important to take the rhythm once you get the chords and make nice rhythms that work for you. Like I could do bottom to the top and keep repeating that, or I could do top and the bottom, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right, next key, B flat triad, top note is F, and I will do an F triad on top. The reason I keep arpeggiating like this, I just want you to hear the sounds, and I practice this as well. I'm not just playing, fast up and down. I am getting a little bit of finger work when I'm doing that, but I'm just listening to each note and deciding how I might want to arpeggiate that if I was actually playing a song. Okay, so I'll go up a whole step. Key of B. So on my B triad, my top note is F sharp, so I F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. That's the first shortcut. I'm nice and up into the keys on this one. Now go up a whole step and play a G sharp. And then I'll finish again on C. And so I just did C chord, or I went up a whole step with my thumb. All right, let me just check quickly if anyone else has downloaded the PDF, and then I'll just open it up for any questions before I sign off and let you guys go practice. Anybody else have any questions on anything? I also want to know if this particular setup, the way I have everything with the notation and even the PDF, I know that PDF would need to be a bigger example probably, but I just want to know if it's helpful to have everything that I have, and I'm always open to any kind of suggestions that you guys might have. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap up by just telling you guys my thought process on my my chord shortcuts, is that when I first started this channel about a month ago, I started doing lots of different teaching videos. And what I noticed is a lot of people really liked when I was showing them simple chords and things that sounded really good. And on Instagram, I was getting feedback. So I just started thinking, well, what are some chords that we can do to really get people, one, prepared to do this Christmas training thing that I want to do, but also just ways that I practice and ways that I learned how to play solo piano. That's the first one we're going to do, solo piano, but we'll also do trio playing and stuff like that. But then I started thinking about, how do I voice certain things for solo piano, and how can I teach other people how to do it? So I started doing the minor 9 voicing. That was one that we did, and my first shortcut was the go up 3 half steps and play an A flat major 7 for your F minor 9, which is a great sound, right? And then I said, well, you can go F, C, and you can double that 9th, okay? So it's like you could play A flat major 7 chord, and you put a G in the bass, and now you have this. Again, thinking like kind of like a guitar player, I would do G on top and hit that F at the bottom. So that's just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that kind of chord right there can work over jazz, gospel, neo soul, all of that. It's a nice sound, very simple but very nice, especially when you crunch the G against the A flat. It sounds really good. But the shortcut is very simple: A flat triad, major 7, and then root 5th and the 9th. And then I said, all right, we got to learn this in E in every key. So what's the easy way? Well, you go E, up 3 half steps. Same process. Same thing. Now I'm thinking A major in the right hand. Now B flat. This way, and it's really important to know the theory, but it's also just as important to be able to quickly play whatever kind of chord it is you're wanting to play. So what I'm doing now, I don't even have to think about it, and I'm thinking bass note is going to be F, and in my right hand I'm going to have an A flat major 7. So whatever key I go to, like when I go to C, I'm already thinking A flat major, and every single note from that A flat major is going to work and sound really good. And when I go to C sharp, I know there's an E that goes over that, E major 7, F major 7. So bass is E flat, but my right hand is F sharp major 7. Now G major 7 over an E. And then you start turning it around a little bit, right? All right, so let me show you one other of the chord shortcuts. I've done major 7, I've done half diminished, several things that I'll be showing you guys coming up. But let me show you a really cool one. There was a video that I did. This is more information that you guys need to know, but I'll go ahead and tell you. So again, my main channel, you guys need to make sure if you're watching me here that you go to imusicacademy.com, or, I mean, that's where all my resources are, but I don't care if you go there or not. But I do want you to go to my YouTube channel at least. iMusic Academy is all spelled out together. And I did a TikTok video where I said, you never played jazz piano before in your life, and to professional jazz pianists. And the comments have been hilarious. But anyway, it didn't go viral in the sense of what TikTok, millions or anything, but it's around 200,000 or getting close to 200,000 people that have watched this video. And it says never played piano to jazz pianist in like 30 seconds or 37 seconds or something like that. And so you can imagine how some of the comments were quite interesting. Anyway, here's the voicing that I used. I basically told people to do this, to play I kind of walk through how you do this, and this all is in 37 seconds. And we ended up playing this chord right here. Now, I actually tried this out with several different people who did not know how to play the piano, and it actually works. I can teach somebody in just literally like less than a minute how to play this chord right here. Now, if you heard somebody play this chord and just hold it out, it to me it sounds pretty dang good, and you would think that guy can play, right? Or that girl can play. So what's actually happening here is if the bass player would play an A here, you have that sound. Again, very simple but very nice. Bass player could also play an E flat. That gives you your Christmas time is here. So you have that. Just kind of that sound there. Okay, but anyway, so let me show you a shortcut that you can do when trying to get to this particular note. As we're teaching shapes and we're teaching shortcuts, if you want to play this chord, all you do is a triad in the right hand. So whatever triad you start on, and your top note is going to go up a half step, and you'll play that with your thumb. And then your bottom note is, you think, a whole step above your thumb, and you play that with your left hand. Put in the chat if you understand that. It's a very simple way of thinking, but it actually really works. Because I'll show you, and we'll do it in a couple different keys. Let me, and I want you to try it for yourselves. Just don't do it. Don't do it just because I say, but I want you to try it out. Let me show you the shortcut again. I go to any triad. I'll stay with F at first, and I'm going to go up, and so my thumb's going to play a half step up, an octave lower, so underneath the triad, and then my bottom note's going to go up by a whole step, and I'll play that. All right, let me do one. Let's do it in D. So D major triad. So I can pick any triad. Again, I have to know my triads. And then on the top note, I'm going to go up a half step and play that with my thumb. And in the bottom note, I'm going to go up by a whole step. And there it is right there. All these tricks is that these shortcuts, you really don't have to play a lot of notes to really sound good. Like I love this sound. It's a nice sound. Also, you can do this kind of sound. I mean, how nice is that right there? So all I have is there are shortcuts here. It's kind of like an opposite thing. So I have a B flat triad in second inversion. Okay. That's the first thing. And then the top note's going to go down by a whole step. And then my bottom note's going to go up by a whole step. It's pretty cool way of thinking about that, in my opinion. Start playing those notes and those chords, people really like it, and it does have a nice open sound. I love that. All right, let me think about this. Let me show you one more concept to think about. Let's do, or any questions? Vicky, do you have any questions before I sign off? guys go practice and see. So even on that, Angels We Have Heard on High, I could go 1, 6, 2, 5. So those nice open voicings. That's another shortcut right there that I didn't even think about till now. But I'll do a PDF on this. This is actually pretty simple. So we were talking about for your, let's say for instance your F, and you go up to C, and we said, okay, you can take the F chord on the bottom, C chord on top. You can also do a whole step up, and now you have D. You have that sound. But if I also took an F chord over the G chord, so an F chord and put a G chord, you get a neat sound. It's called the sharp 11, so it's the tritone. And what I'm doing here is I can go up a whole step there. Do right there, I did a diminished voicing, but that's another trick. Let me show you that really quickly, guys. Is that diminished is such a cool thing, and there's so many things I want to show you guys about diminished. But for one thing is, let's say I have an A chord and I need that dominant sound. Now this is a little bit of theory, but not much, I promise. So an A chord, all you have to think of is going up a half step in your right hand. So in my left hand, I'm going to do, right now I'm going to do A and G, so the 1 and the flat 7. In my right hand, I'm going to do a B flat diminished chord. Now, I went up a whole step from the root. Even that right there sounds amazing to me. And I like to roll up my chords. So I went A, and then I went G, A flat, A. Even that, so I did. Or you can go. Gotta get clean with that. But you get the idea. Okay, so listen how easy it was for me to do it. So I went. So there's my A. Then I'm at D minor. Let me do it again. Now I went down that time. shortcut I just showed you. So F chord, G triad on top, or move up a whole step. I even like F, C, G there. See what I did there? The melody's A, and I did that where that time instead of rolling it up, I did. If I was playing Perdido, for instance, and I'm doing all of that is right out of those block chord voicings. And so block chord, you stack them all together. Well, the same thing you can do on diminished. So I did. I did it again right there. So here's the cool thing on that is, so I was doing a 2-5 in F, but then when I hit this, it's the same voicing, but the C in the bass changes it to a C7 flat 9 voicing. And then I went up to F sharp. It's a nice way to delay the resolution, and now I'm going to go down to F. That's another thing on solo piano. So you can obviously do it all kinds of different ways. And one of the things is, even though I'm not doing trio piano, you can think very simply in your left hand. You don't always have to be doing on solo piano, low left hand chords. And all I was doing is opening it up with trio voicings. Any questions before I sign off? I do there, again, this idea of you have a G minor and I do a shortcut, right? B flat, major 7, and I can go up and double that. It makes that nice block chord sound. Or